Thank you so much for joining us, and of course it's about time for us now to talk money, and of course that brings us to personal finance, and we will be looking narrowly into Global Money Week. What exactly is Global Money Week is what our guest in the person of Mr. Charles Fakruha, who is joining us via phone call conversation, will be providing to us. Good morning, Mr. Charles, and thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Joshua, for having me on the show.
You're welcome, sir. So what do you have for us on Global Money Week?
Yes, thank you very much. Yes, the Global Money Week is an annual global awareness raising campaign on the importance of ensuring that young people from an early age are financially aware and are gradually acquiring the knowledge, skill, and attitude, behavior necessary to make sound decisions and ultimately achieve financial well-being and financial resilience.
So when you say, just pause for a while, when you say from a very young age, what age are you looking at? When you say from a young age, what age are you looking at?
From as early as 5-year-olds.
Go ahead.
You begin to yes. Okay, so this year's celebration started on the 18th of March and is going to end on the 24th. So a lot of activities has been going on so far, and the theme for this year is protect your money and secure your future. Protect your money and secure your future. So, in Paris, 2 days ago, we had a global conference. I joined by way of Zoom to attend that conference virtually. And the major topic that was discussed there was trying to see that people become aware when it comes to finances. And we're looking at tackling financial scams and frauds. Because most young persons, because they are not financially literate, they are a target to financial scam and fraud. There are so many online shopping scam, identity theft. So with this Global Money Week, our youth, our young people have been taught on how to recognize some of these things in their finance. So at the end of the day, it's for them to become financially literate and begin to take informed decisions, making them financially well-being.
All right, so looking at one's finance, because the focal point you just mentioned now will be how to make sure that you manage your finance and of course secure your future. Can you give us practical ways on how to do that, aside from, you know, being very much aware of the antics fraudsters use to be able to defraud people of their hard-earned money? What other means or what other ways can one be looking at?
Yes, to protect fraudsters or, okay, to improve your finances.
Yes, to improve your finances, yeah.
Hello?
To improve your finances.
To improve your finances,
yeah.
Good. Now, we have been saying it on this show several times. There are so many things you can do to improve your finances. We have said the first thing is getting the knowledge. It's key. And how do you get the knowledge? It's part of what we are doing now. Doing programs like Finance with Charles, Mental Finance with Charles on iBrandTV, then Global Money Week, let you be aware and all that. That is one. Now, the skill is also what we are now recommending, that for every primary school, and sometimes they are from 5 years old, they should have a small curriculum to teach these children the skill. And we have started doing that in some selected schools in Lagos, where their teachers will be taught this curriculum so that they will now go back and begin to teach their students on the basis of personal finance. The curriculum has been designed, and some of them have started using it. Then the attitude, the behavior will also be taught to them so that they understand how you relate with money. You need to know how your budget affects you. You need to know whether it is time for you to borrow money or not to borrow money. You need to understand how you begin to prepare these children for them to be responsible in terms of their finances. Then, of course, you use several teaching methods to explain to them savings. We have this piggy bank where you give them a box, they begin to put money inside, then at the end of the month, they can open it and see how much they have saved. Then after saving, we also are going to be teaching them on investment. What are the areas where they can invest their money to secure themselves, and this money will grow and give them return. We'll teach them about the stock market. We'll teach them about investing in federal government savings board, how to buy shares, and how to understand and listen to the financial news. So all these are practical steps that we are giving to them to begin to understand what it takes for them to be financial literate.
All right. So what is the outlook? What is the outlook of such if these kind of opportunities are available to children who are growing up to be able to become more financially aware? In a situation where they now know when to borrow, how to save, and how to invest. What's the outlook for such kind of children?
What we are looking at is if at this early age, they are taught and they have their own money story, then it will be difficult for other people to give them a narrative that will not be good for them, because they have been taught by their teachers who have gone through our training, and at the same time, once that good attitude towards money, they become responsible adults. And once they are responsible adults, they will become responsible in terms of their finances. So if they are governors today, or ministers, or even parliamentarians, then that will reflect in the kind of laws they will bring out for the country. And at the same time, when they are doing the appropriation of our budget, you will see a lot of responsibility, because they are now being taught how to manage their own finances, and they will apply that knowledge in managing our country's resources. So we'll see more prudency, we'll see more maturity in terms of attitude towards money, and I tell you, we'll also see less and less of misappropriation of our funds and a lot of embezzlement, because they will have been taught how their little actions can affect the nation, at the same time affect everybody.
All right, so can this be introduced, can this system be introduced into the secondary school curriculum? Is it possible?
Yes. As I speak to you, when we had the event at the stock exchange, I told selected schools came, both primary and secondary. However, these were basically private schools. We are starting with the private schools now, and we believe that with time, we will move on. After the taking permission from the state government, we will move on to the secondary school. We're not saying teach a new subject when it comes to personal finance. It can be incorporated into maybe a social studies course, or even economics, that curriculum about personal finance. Financial literacy can just be 3, 4, 5, 10 topics in an already existing subject, so that the children will appreciate the basis of this personal finance, because whether we like it or not. I have also suggested that for our lawmakers, our governors, even our ministers, when they are appointed, they should go through this program of personal finance for at least a week, so that they become aware, because it's going to help them in discharging their function when it comes to managing the little resources in terms of finance that we're giving to them.
I like that part where you said even to our lawmakers, it can be introduced to them, especially for a 3-month course where they undergo this kind of training to help them to understand how budget appropriations are done, and of course budget implementations, because obviously that is a deficit when it comes to public governance. So how can you, by virtue of your body, introduce this initiative to them, for them to be able to embrace it? Because obviously many of them, they know next to nothing about how to properly execute a budget whereby you see money is going into the right place and avoiding wastages. How can you introduce this initiative to them such that they would embrace it and not feel like this is like an attack on them?
Yes, I like that last part. For our lawmakers, me and you have been elected them to represent us. So we are saying on our own part, give them our own contribution to enhance their performance. They already have a legislative school that they go through after they have been elected. So we're already talking with the management of that school to say incorporate personal financial management to elected lawmakers that will be resuming duties at the National Assembly, so that at least for 1 week they can also have presentations from personal finance experts to talk to them on the basis of, we're not telling them to say they don't know anything when it concerns finance. Some of them are already professors of finance, some already accomplished bankers, some are already doing so well in their chosen profession. But this will now serve as a reminder, as a retraining for them to say, look, we just want you to understand this basis of financial literacy. Personally, how you can manage your own resources personally and applying that to the resources that you will come up, you'll be exposed to, and that is going to influence the kind of what you have said, appropriation, and how monies allocated for certain projects will be implemented as the Nigerian masses will want to benefit from it.
Does it also include areas where the cost of governance will be reduced? Does that training also address that too?
The training basically will be looking at personal finance as a lawmaker, your personal finance, and how you can apply it when it comes to budgeting our national resource. That's self-discipline. Because if you can apply personal finance to yourself in terms of becoming financially disciplined, then you will now apply that when you are coming up with appropriation. And you will be very, very strict, like you have said, to ensure that money that are voted for a particular project goes to that project. And as I agree with you, there will also be reduction of wastage, where we know that it's their constitutional right to have a constituency project, but we want to see that how that constituency project will be channeled properly so that their constituents will have the benefit from those projects, not one parliamentarian getting the money and just using it for himself personally. So all these are the things we intend to put to them in the presentation, and of course the lectures will be given to them.
Okay, so when you come up with very beautiful initiative like this, it is not without its challenges. I hope you agree with me.
Yes.
So do you foresee any challenges in the course of execution? Can you hear me? Do you foresee any, challenges in the course of execution?
In fact, right now there is a lot of challenges going on. Right. And that is why we are using this Global Money Week, on our own to continue to do the awareness, sensitization, because we also invited the Central Bank to be there. We also invited some lawmakers from Lagos State, so that everybody will be aware. And by the time we present the proposal to the lawmakers, the management, then it's something they would have heard about and some also been already aware of it, and it becomes a little bit easy. But I tell you, there's a lot of challenges that is ongoing now. But we are not giving up. We are doing everything on our own part to ensure that we get it to them.
What are some of those challenges that you foresee or you envisage would come up?
One, we are saying, they will say, these people, who are you? What do you people know? What can you teach us? Of course, being personal finance experts, these are the challenges we get all the time. Because imagine you have somebody who is a former bank MD, who is now a lawmaker. What are the things you are going to teach him about finance that he will tell you he doesn't know? But we are saying, agreed, you are an accomplished expert in your own field. But we are saying, this has to do not with corporate finance, but with personal finance, how it affects our public finance. Because the public finance is for all Nigerians. So how does your own personal finance affect it? That's discipline. Because without discipline, you cannot do personal finance. So once you are able to imbibe that discipline of personal finance, it will go a long way to affect when you are administering public funds. That is the essence. Your attitude towards money. Because if you have a correct, right attitude towards money, you will not be in a function and you see people spray money just like that. Because you will know that that is not the right attitude towards money. So if a lawmaker is in such place, the lawmaker will want to say, please stop that kind of attitude. If you want to give money in public place, put it inside an envelope. So these are things you are trying to do, not only for lawmakers, but for Nigerians generally. We need to have the right attitude towards money.
Thank you so much for your time. We really appreciate it. Thank you so much, Mr. Charles Fakoha. All right, so we will be coming back shortly after this timeout. Please don't go nowhere.